Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank you for holding this critical hearing to explore the challenges faced by Border Patrol agents on federal border lands, as well as for your trip with Chairman Bishop earlier this month to visit the U.S.-Mexico border so we could get an update on the latest status of the nation's border security. Our government has placed the men and women who patrol our border, as well as the American citizens who live on or near the border, in a very difficult position. We all recognize that. As is all too often the case, Washington has created bureaucratic hurdles that have adversely impacted the Border Patrol agents' abilities to secure our southern border. While well-intentioned, the Memorandum of Understanding that the Departments of Interior, Homeland Security, and Agriculture have entered into has created challenges and delayed Border Patrol agents' abilities to respond to illegal activity in federal lands adjacent to the border. Nearly 35.3% of the southern border runs along or through federally owned lands. Understanding the regulatory difficulties posed to Border Patrol officers due to the Wilderness Act, the National Environmental Policy Act, and the Endangered Species Act, and other policies, illegal immigrants and human traffickers and drug smugglers have targeted federal lands to conduct their illicit activities. Those illicit activities not only threaten the personal security of those who live along the border, but they've caused extensive ecological and environmental damage. Human waste and garbage and wildfires and tunnels and the like have contributed to serious damage to wildlife habitats. In a July 2011 Department of Interior report, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service identified mass illegal immigration as a likely contributing factor in the 79% decline in the U.S. Sonoran pronghorn population between 2000 and 2002. This was at the Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument. 79%. That's a massive impact to an endangered species that's found nowhere else in the world. Republican and Democrat administrations alike have highlighted the need to address this issue. For example, former Department of Homeland Security Secretary Napolitano wrote in a 2009 letter to our chairman, Mr. Bishop, quote, "While the U.S. Border Patrol recognizes the importance and value of wilderness area designations, they can have a significant impact on U.S. Border Patrol operations in border regions. This includes that these types of restrictions can impact the efficacy of operations and be a hindrance to the maintenance of officer safety," unquote. Former Department of Interior Secretary Salazar stated in 2010, quote, "We have seen that national security and environmental conservation are mutually supporting goals," unquote. It was with all the above in mind that I introduced H.R. 3593, the Securing Our Borders and Wilderness Act, which provides a statutory fix to an issue perpetuated by bureaucracy that, as we've said, is endangering both border security and our federal lands. The bill allows for the Department of Homeland Security to conduct border security activities on federal lands in a manner that, to the greatest extent possible, also protects wilderness areas. I look forward to highlighting how my bill will help to alleviate the impediments Border Patrol agents are facing at present, as well as the issues more broadly that we'll be discussing today. I want to thank all of our witnesses for taking the time to speak to this committee, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman.